Hey, what's up guys? I'm gonna unbox and review the new NAVEE S65 electric scooter. This thing is supposed to be fairly fast. It has a 500 watt motor, but its peak power is 1000 watts. Its top speed is 20 miles an hour and its range is up to 40 miles. It also has dual suspension. So it's actually a very good scooter. We have a how can we help and a user manual right here. So we have some screws and an Allen wrench. We have a tire inflator extender. And we have the power supply, which is 100 to 240 volts. The output is 53 volts at 2.3 amps, which makes it 121.9 watts. And yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. That's the tip right there. So taking a closer look, we have the tail light, we have a rear disc brake right here, we have the motor inside. This is the part where it clips in when you're folding it. So the kickstand goes in here, which is really nice. It's kind of integrated in there. This is made out of metal. We have a reflector. There is pretty nice amount of space on the deck itself. We have the power plug. Well, this is where you would charge the battery from. We have the suspension and the front and in the back, actually. I should have mentioned that. The folding mechanism, we have a reflector right here. So the folding mechanism is kind of cool. I'll show you guys that momentarily. And we have the headlight in the front, bell and everything. So for the controls, we have our rear disc brake, we have our bell. This is for the folding mechanism. If you hold the power for 1 or 2 seconds, it turns on. So if you tap the power button once, it'll turn on the headlights. Tap it again, it'll turn off the headlights. If you double tap, it'll switch between the modes. So sport is the fastest mode, the walking mode, and then the standard mode, and then back to the sport mode. You can change imperial units to metric within the app. This is your battery indicator and this is your throttle. So this is what the app looks like. Tells you your battery percentage, how many miles remaining, how many miles you've ridden. Obviously it's new, I haven't done that yet. You can lock the scooter, you can unlock the scooter, enable cruise control, which you have to hold the throttle for 5 seconds or so. I don't like that. Tail light always on, you could do that. And then if you click on the top right, with the iPhone doesn't work super well, so you have to tap it a few times. So basically you could change it to metric units if you want, and then there's more scooter info and stuff, tire maintenance and stuff, where you could say, oh, I've maintained it, and then firmware update, you could check it here. So you have a few additional options within the app. So to fold the scooter, you pull this thing up, bend this down, and if you take it here, it won't go, so you have to hold this and take it all the way down for this to open up, and then it goes straight down, clips in right there. And then you can lift it. This is the sweet spot. It is slightly on the heavier side, but still doable. And then bringing it back up, same exact thing. Hold this green thing up and boom, you're done. Super easy. So I charged this thing up and took it out for a spin, mostly on paved roads, did flats, inclines, and declines, and a little bit of off-roading, if you want to call it that. Just went on a little bit of grass to test out the suspension, because it does have a full suspension and pneumatic tires. And let me tell you guys, it is a very comfortable ride. So for this price range, this might be the most comfortable scooter I've been on for this price range. It's very, very comfortable. I really can't think of any other scooter that's more comfortable than this for this price range. I do think the Segway GT2 is more comfortable than this, but that costs a lot more than this. So overall, very impressed with this thing. I also like the wider handlebar, and it really helps with the stability of the scooter, especially when you're going downhill, to the point that I was going downhill and I just wanted to see how fast I could get, and I got to around 29-30 miles an hour, and it was still very stable. Now with some scooters, you don't feel as stable as with others. So most scooters that I test for their rated speeds, they're fine. They can do their rated speeds. But some scooters, when you go a little bit faster than that, like if you're going on a downhill, you could tell, like, okay, if you're going any faster, it's really getting unstable, and it's pretty much getting dangerous at that point. So I do tend to slow down. With this one, I didn't feel that way as much. This one felt very comfortable, and I was going well in excess of its speed limit, and I personally still felt fine. Obviously, I am still wearing protective gear, and I'm not telling anyone to go fast, so this is not a good idea. I'm just testing out the scooter just to test this thing out. So then we get to the uphills. Now,
with most scooters in this budget price range, they tend to suffer up the hills. This one also suffered up the hills, but not quite as bad. So with some scooters, they don't make it up the lengthy hill that I test. With other scooters, they do make it up, but I have to do the zigzag motion where I kind of go side to side, and that pretty much kind of, another sense, kind of decreases the incline a bit because I'm kind of going sideways and sideways. But with this one, I was going straight. It did slow down, but it still made it up the hill without needing to do any zigzag. So in terms of performance, for the price, I would say it did fairly well. And again, I am around 200 pounds, which is 91 kilograms, so I'm not exactly the lightest guy in the world. Obviously, if you're lighter, it should fare better in your situation. But on another hill that I tried, it wasn't as inclined, and it did this thing no problem. So overall, it is a very, very good scooter. Also, the brakes feel linear. I'm not going to say they're the best brakes in the world. I have tested other scooters with better brakes than this, specifically the Highboy VE1 Pro. That one has really, really good brakes. But in terms of brake feel, this thing is solid. It stops in time. It's a linear feel. It's not, you know, it doesn't feel weird when you're, some scooters, when you're holding the brakes, it's barely kind of holding it, and then you apply it a little bit more, and then it stops like you're like at such an absurd amount that it's like you almost feel like you're gonna fly off the bike. So you do have to be careful with some scooters. This is not one of them. This is a legit fantastic scooter. I've also tested their NAVEE V40 Pro, and that was a very good scooter. This one is even better than that, and I was already impressed with the other one. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below, and as always, smash that subscribe button. I have way more scooter videos coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.